You think fiction is wild. These real-life stories are so unbelievable. They make science fiction look tame. From atomic horror to ancient mysteries, get ready for truths you won't believe are real. Number 10. The man who survived 2 atomic bombs. It was August 6, 1945. Tsutomu Yamaguchi, a Japanese engineer, was finishing a business trip in Hiroshima when the world changed forever. The sky turned white. A deafening roar shattered everything. He was just 3 kilometers from the epicenter of the first atomic bomb ever dropped. Burned, injured, and deafened, he barely made it out alive. But here's the part that bends reality. He returned home the next day, to Nagasaki. And just 3 days later, while describing the devastation to his coworkers, another explosion ripped through the city. It was the second bomb. Yes, he survived both atomic bombings. Doctors were baffled. His body should have given up. But not only did he recover, he went on to live a full life, dying peacefully at age 93. Was it fate? Or was he truly unbreakable? And if one man could survive the world's most devastating weapon twice, what else is possible? Number 9. The Green Children of Woolpit. In medieval England, near the quiet village of Woolpit, something otherworldly happened. 2 young children, a boy and a girl, appeared from the woods, with glowing green skin. They spoke an unknown language. Their clothing didn't match anything from that era. And strangest of all, they were terrified of the sun and only ate raw beans. The villagers were stunned. What were they? Feral children? Foreigners? Or something inhuman? As they slowly adapted, their skin lost its green tint. The boy died, but the girl learned English and claimed they came from a place called St. Martin's Land, where the sun never shone and everything was bathed in twilight. No one could find this place on Earth. The twist? Some modern researchers believe they may have been refugees from another dimension. Or were they survivors of a long-lost underground civilization? Number 8. The man who fell from the sky and walked away. Julian Köpke was only 17, flying over the Peruvian jungle in 1971, when her plane was struck by lightning. Mid-air, the aircraft tore apart. She fell 2 miles to the ground. Without a parachute. Everyone else perished. Julianne woke up alone, strapped to her seat, in the middle of the Amazon rainforest. Her collarbone broken, her eyes swollen shut. Snakes, insects, and jaguars lurked all around her, and yet she didn't give up. For 11 straight days, she wandered through the jungle with no map, no food, and no hope. Guided only by a tiny stream, she followed water downstream until she found humans. She was the only survivor of Lanza Flight 508. The doctors couldn't believe she had survived a free fall from 10,000 feet. Was it a miracle? Or did the jungle protect her for a reason? Number 7. The time-traveling man of 1950, New York City. June 1950. A man in old-fashioned clothing appears in the middle of Times Square, confused, terrified, and completely lost. Witnesses say he looked like he had just stepped out of the 19th century. Seconds later, he's hit by a taxi and killed. But what investigators found in his pockets changed everything. Coins from no modern currency. Oh, business card. From a man who hadn't been seen for decades. And a letter dated 1876. His identity? Rudolph Fentz, a man who mysteriously disappeared in 1876 and never returned. But the twist? Public records confirm that someone with the same name vanished in that exact year, without a trace. Time travel? Glitch in reality? Or something far stranger? Number 6. The house that cried blood. In 1987, Minnie Winston, a 77-year-old woman in Atlanta, walked into her bathroom and screamed. Blood was pouring out of the floor and walls. She and her husband had no injuries, no pets, yet blood continued to ooze out from the tiles, the sink, even the light switches. Authorities were called, and crime scene investigators confirmed. It was real human blood. But no source could be found. No bodies, no leaks, no explanations. Tests were inconclusive. The case was closed. The house still stands. The blood never returned. But to this day, no one knows where it came from. Was it a haunting, a forgotten crime, or something not meant to be explained? Number 5. The soldier who refused to surrender for 29 years. Meet Hiro Onoda, a Japanese soldier sent to the Philippines during World War II. But when the war ended in 1945, Onoda didn't believe it. For him, peace was a trick by the enemy. So he vanished into the jungle, and for 29 years, he kept fighting a war that had ended decades earlier. He lived off bananas, raided villages, and hid in the trees, refusing to give up. He even dismissed newspaper clippings and radio announcements dropped from planes as enemy propaganda. It wasn't until 1974, nearly 3 decades later, that his former commander had to fly in personally to order his surrender. Imagine losing 3 decades of your life, trapped in a war only you still believed in. But here's the twist. He returned to Japan and was welcomed as a hero. The man who ignored reality became a legend. Number 4. The ghost ship that sailed itself. In 1872, a ship named the Mary Celeste was found drifting in the Atlantic Ocean. It was completely intact, its cargo untouched, food still on the table. Even the crew's personal belongings were there, but every single person on board had vanished. There were no signs of struggle, no lifeboats missing, no messages. It was as if the crew had evaporated. Over the years, theories exploded. Pirates? Sea monsters? Mutiny? Aliens? But one detail sent chills. The ship's log ended with a normal entry. No panic, no clue. And the twist? The Mary Celeste was spotted again years later, floating aimlessly, still empty. Some say the ship is cursed, doomed to sail forever, searching for its lost crew. Number 3. The woman who spoke perfect German. After a head injury. In 2006, a Croatian teenager named Natasha was rushed to the hospital after suffering a head injury. She was unconscious for 24 hours, but when she woke up, she could no longer speak Croatian. Instead, she spoke perfect German. Her family was stunned. Natasha had barely studied German in school and wasn't fluent at all. Neurologists called it a rare case of foreign accent syndrome, but no one could explain how she picked up a language she barely knew fluently. And here's the unsettling twist. Even months later, she couldn't remember her native tongue. It was as if her brain had been rewritten. Is it just rare brain wiring, or are some memories and languages locked deep within all of us? Number 2. The man who vanished in front of hundreds. In 1809, a British diplomat named Benjamin Bathurst was traveling in Germany. He stepped outside an inn and vanished. Witnesses say he was seen walking behind his carriage, but Ithio never made it around to the other side. No struggle, no noise, just gone. Searches were conducted. Rivers were dragged, forests combed. Nothing. Theories ranged from murder to secret political abductions, but none fit. His belongings were untouched. No ransom was ever made. The twist? 2 decades later, a skeleton was found inside the wall of a nearby abandoned house, but even today it remains unconfirmed if it was his. Was he kidnapped, hidden alive, or did he disappear into another dimension? Number 1. The twins who shared one soul. June and Jennifer Gibbons were identical twins, but something about them was uncanny. They spoke a private language only they understood. They mirrored each other's movements. They refused to talk to anyone else. Doctors tried to separate them, but both would fall into catatonic silence. When apart, their behavior became increasingly disturbing, writing eerie stories about murder, committing arson, even being institutionalized. Then one day, Jennifer whispered to June, "I'm going to die. You'll be free." And she did. Out of nowhere, Jennifer died of acute myocarditis, a sudden heart inflammation. No drugs, no trauma, just gone. After her sister's death, June began speaking, living freely, almost like the curse had lifted. To this day, no one can explain how Jennifer died. Was it a psychic link, possession, or were they one soul in two bodies, and one had to leave? Want more mind-blowing stories like this? Let me know. I'll dive even deeper into the bizarre truths that challenge everything we know. Shall I now create 10 image generation prompts that follow this exact sequence?